Very good. A lot of people were asking questions in the tea time. And that's why we need a teacher. So the teacher, because we cannot read books and learn, because we cannot ask the questions to the books. So someone asks Gurudev, why do I need a teacher? I can go to the library and read. You ask that question to the library also. So because you want an answer, and the only way it is you can stop the teacher and ask, what is this? I don't understand, because the mind is still perturbed, cannot gain the knowledge unless the question is answered. Normally, in a Vedantic class, we don't allow asking questions in the middle of the class because it disturbs flow of thoughts. So the questions are allowed to ask at a certain time so that there is no disturbance of the thought flow of the lecture itself or the class. And normally in these camps, because we are packed with so much, people do have questions, and a lot of questions get answered slowly. Some of it is answered by the text itself. And I do spend a lot of time to answering questions only because the things get clarified with the thought. But I suggest write the questions so that not only you have the question, others also have the same questions, but in a similar way. So that way we allot some time to question and answers. And I do have 2 questions here that was passed on. Try to address that a little bit before we start. We are late already. Dearest Sadaji, very good. If all action is initiated first by thought, and if it is said, so long as we are alive, we must act, then is it impossible to have no thoughts, even the highest meditation? So meditation is not a thoughtless state, first. So if you try to remove the thoughts, you go to sleep, I can guarantee. So trying to gain a place where there are nirvikalpa samadhi. In the yoga, in the Patanjali yoga also it's talked about that. But in the Vedantic class, remember Patanjali is Advaita, not Advaitin. You should know that. So in the yoga, in the Jnana yoga, vichara is required, inquiry is required. Tad vijñāsastva says, inquire in this direction. Inquiry requires a thinking process. So meditation is not thoughtless process. Because any thoughtless state is what happens when you go to sleep. So Vedantic meditation involves inquiring in the direction that is pointed out by Vedanta. And what's the direction? What is that because of which thoughts are known? It's not the absence of the thought. I need a thought. So a simple example I give that you are all familiar, those who attended. So for you to see me, you need the light, right? Clear? With the pitch dark, you cannot see. If I put my hand, you are able to see the hand because the light is falling on it. But you are also able to see the hand because not only the light is falling on it, the light is reflected by the hand, and the reflected light is what you are seeing. Actually, you are not seeing your hand. I don't know if you know it, but that's a law. Physics, simple physics is what you are seeing is not the hand, but your light is falling on it, it's getting reflected, and the reflected is forming an image in your retina, and that what image of that, and you say there is a hand there, but what you are seeing is the image that is, because you are not seeing the behind my hand, because light coming from that behind is not, you are not getting it. You are only seeing the frontal vision of what light is falling, right? It's simple. That's the whole, the world is there, whatever you see is the world. What you don't see is no world, you cannot see. without going into the details. But here, I want to see the light that is falling on my hand. Suppose you want to say that. Now, should I remove my hand? If I remove my hand, there is a light there. Because light, my hand is not self-luminous. It is only luminous because light was falling on it. Therefore, there is a light there. But if I may remove my hand, you cannot see the light there. In the space where the hand was. Now you follow now. He is looking at the light. To recognize that there is a light here, you need a hand. You need some object to reflect it. So without the reflection, I cannot recognize the light that is there. Simple. Now two things here. I need light to see the hand. Number one. Now I need the hand to recognize the light. You follow? Now meditation. Meditation is looking at my hand and say it is not the hand, but it is the light that is falling on the hand that you are seeing. You follow? Because that's what you are really seeing actually. So instead of hand, think about thoughts. I need a thought. So light of consciousness is beaming on it and getting reflected. Just like this hand, light is falling on it and getting reflected. Therefore, you say there is a hand. Otherwise, you cannot say there is a hand. Same way, light of consciousness beaming on the thought that is rising in the mind. And when the thought is, then the light of consciousness is reflected, that is the knowledge of the thought. Just as light reflected by this becomes a knowledge of the hand. Now, how do I see consciousness, or how do I become a consciousness, or how do I become the meditation involves, it's not the hand, but I need the hand. But it's not the hand, but it's the light because of which hand is seen. Follow? Same way, it's not the thought, but because of which thought is known. So it's not the absence of thoughts, but every thought, light of consciousness has to beam in for me to know the thought. And I know every thought that rises in my mind. You don't know, I know it, right? If I don't know, then I can't say there is a thought. So for every thought that rises in my mind, I know I am conscious of the thought. That means consciousness is beaming, illumining the thought. So meditation involves leaving the thought content and shifting my attention from the thought to that because of which thought is known. So it's not the absence of thought. Absence of thought, you go to sleep. I can guarantee. So I can do that with any thought, but I can guarantee you will go along with the thought. Rather than standing apart, looking at, because of which the light is getting reflected, you need to stand apart from the thought without identifying with the thought. So, instead of any thought, we give a mind to provide a thought, a repeated thought, same thought again and again, so that I don't get carried away with the thoughts. Otherwise, oh Rama, Rama, remember today Nama, Rama Nama he was talking about? Then Rama Rao, I remember Rama Rao, he owes me $100, he didn't give me. I don't know what happened to her. Gone. Mind goes from one to other to other. But if I really have, that's called Japa Yoga. Japa Yoga is, I provide a means for the mind to think a same thought, same thought, same thought, same thought, so that I don't shift my attention to the contents of the thought, but pay attention to the light because of which I am conscious of the thought. Now you see what the secret of meditation is. If I can do all the time, then I am all the time in the meditation. At least do some time where you can pay, because it's easier for me to get carried away with the thoughts because I have to transact in the world. It's difficult for me to stand apart all the time, keep watching. So, since I am involved in the worldly activities, it's difficult for me to be out. A detachment is difficult. Therefore, at least spend some time where you can contemplate on this truth. That's the meditation is important. So, it's not the absence of thoughts. Priests discuss the criteria, guidelines of good vasanas and bad versus bad vasanas versus not so good vasanas. We have not so good, not so bad also. General rule is good vasanas are the ones that take your mind, that keeps your mind calm and quiet. That is the litmus test. Mind is continuously disturbed, continuously. You'll be blinking at the ceiling and going all around the movies, running in the mind. You are going along with all the time. Then mind is not available for you. So, a good vasanas are the ones that quietens the mind. That is the litmus test. If you are agitated, even by helping others, if you are getting agitated, then there is a problem. That means you have big ego coming in terms of helping others. That's what the problem is. Not helping others. Helping others you should do. But there's a big ego coming along with it. If you help others without doing it, say, yeah, do whatever that can be done. Then forget it. Don't keep on running in this one. That is over. Next help. End of the story. So if you do that, then it's a different. You are withdrawing your mind, not getting involved into it. So good vasanas are the vasanas that keep the mind contented, unperturbed, quiet as long as it's possible. Bad vasanas, normally when you are jealous, angry, it's become, that fellow is sleeping comfortably. You say, how dare he did it? I'm going to teach him a lesson. All that whole night I'm restless, sleepless. Whereas that fellow who said whatever he didn't do, whatever he did, he's sleeping comfortably. But I am sleepless. Why? I'm running and rerunning that movie in my mind all the time. And that is what is the bad vasanas. That is the simple litmus test. But normally, something to help others, that's called karma yoga, where you bring the Ishvara into picture, and with Ishvara everything good also comes, because he is a very Mangala Swarupam. So he is Mangalancha Mangalam, right? He is the auspicious of auspicious. Bhagavan Ramanuja says he is the locus of Ashraya of Ananta Kalyana Koti Ashraya, Ananta Kalyana Ashraya, Gunashrayam. He is locus of infinite auspicious qualities. So when you bring him down with you, he is bringing with all that routine, right? So you are with him in that. So automatically your mind becomes auspicious. So that's what his real offering should be. You should not get agitated in offering also to the Lord. So mind has to become quiet, and that is the way. And I don't know about not so good vasanas and not so bad vasanas. Not so good is, I don't know, the hierarchies in that. But, where I help others, I am also getting ego. I am the one who gave the big donation there for Chinmaya Mission under the program. I am the one who really gave. Not that I give, but I'm just giving example. So it's a big ego. I'm doing good thing, but I want everyone to know that I'm good thing. Okay, that becomes where my ego is also being built up. What is the problem there? Problem is when the other fellow doesn't recognize that I am the one who is giving. That's my problem, right? I want everybody to recognize. I get agitated when other people are not recognizing and respecting because what I give so much. Then there is a problem. So one has to be careful in this. Okay, let's talk about the 4 gatekeepers here.
Mokshadware dwarapalaha Chattvara parikirtitaha Shamo vicharas santoshaha Chaturtas sadhu sangamaha Mokshadware dwarapalaha चत्वार परिकीर्तिताः शमो विचारः सन्तोषः चतुर्थः साधु संगमः.
So here Bhagavan Vaasishta says there are 4 gatekeepers in going to realize the higher. Says Mokshadvare Dwarapalaha, there are essentially gatekeepers, Chatvara Parikirtitaha. So essentially it's been declared that there are 4 main the gatekeepers that you have to get permit to pass through, essentially in that. And who are they? Shamaha, Vicharaha, Santoshaha, and Chaturtha is Sadhu Sangamaha. These are the 4 that you need to acquire. So one is Shamaha. Shamaha means controlling the mind. Controlling the mind is prerequisite to enter into the sanctum sanctorum. So how do I control the mind? By discipline, obviously. So discipline, sadhana becomes an important by withdrawing my mind from unnecessarily pursuit in the world. So here is, as I am growing up, I am involved in so many activities. Mind is running here, mind is running there, mind is running there. Now, when I turn, because I have only fixed mind, my mind is only 24 hours, remember, 7 hours, 7 days a week, 24 hours, that's all I have. I don't have much more. I have to invest whatever I have to something higher. Returns should be more. So which gives you more return? That's the intelligent way of living. So I had to withdraw my mind from this, from that, and invest something to higher. That is called Shama. Withdrawing the mind, investing to something higher is essentially unnecessarily not indulging in that. If you don't have choice, then don't do it. There's no problem. If you don't have choice, there's no question. Only if I have a choice to do or not to do, try to convert that choice in the direction where your mind can reach higher. So that's called Shama. Shama and Dhamma. Dhamma is also there, but here he is giving Shama. But all can be included. Shamadhi, Shatka Sampatti are there. There is a 6-fold qualities that are required that in order to grow. And I'll give you a simple secret. The problem between a jnani and a jnana nishtha is this problem. What is the problem? So we all will, from this camp, you will know what is the truth. Jnanam is there. Right? That means, hey, that is the Satchidananda Swarupa, consciousness, existence, that's the end of the story. But after the class is over, immediately after the class, as soon as I walk out of it, everything goes. Where does it go? It says, jnanam is required, ajnanam is gone. Then what happened? I am not a jnani still. So here is the 2 things. Jnanam and jnana samskaram is there. When I am ignorant, ignorance can go away with the knowledge. Those who are in a Chinmaya Mission list, they have Smruti articles. Smruti. In that I've been writing, this is I think the seventh or something. There are 6 articles already in the previous issue. It's a quarterly issue where I'm discussing this Jnana Yoga. So if you read that, you will understand the whole process in much more detail because it's difficult for me to go all aspect of it. Huh? Yeah. So this just now the new has come, where I think the 7th or 6th or 7th part of Jnana Yoga series, the 7th one has come. Where the problem is, ajnanam can go with jnanam. That's what essentially is. Once I realize that I do not know who I am, when the teaching says you are Satchidananda Swarupa, if I understand it correctly, then it's gone. But as soon as class is over, everything is back to the regular. What happened? The happening is, according to the Vedanta, it says when ignorance is there, ignorance generated vasanas are still there. So even though ignorance is removed, the vasanas are still there. And the vasanas will go only through karma yoga, jnana yoga and all that, but one has to do nididhyasanam. After the knowledge is there, one has to do continuously contemplation on that knowledge. How long you have to contemplate? Until that how long question disappears. Nididhyasana means that internalizing the knowledge as I am in fact is that, not is this. Even though I understood logically, understand crystal clear, everything is perfect logic because it's not illogical. What we are not talking about illogical, because I come from a science background, I don't accept illogical. So it is logical, at the same time it's beyond logic. There's nothing say I am existent, how do you prove? Prove that God is there. You don't need a proof, because the very statement that you can talk itself that you are a conscious entity, right? That itself is a proof. So I don't need to prove, I need to prove everything else, but I don't need to prove that I am existent and conscious entity. That is a given fact, absolute fact. There is no belief system. No one has to believe in it. This is the belief. Do you believe in Hinduism? There is nothing to believe. This is a fact only. That's why it's called Sanatana Dharmam. It's not a religion even. It's Dharma. Our essential nature itself is that. And that is the absolute truth. Do you believe that light travels at such and such a speed? I don't believe it. There's nothing to believe. That's a fact. It's a statement of fact in physics. It says light travels at such and such speed in this environment or in this situation or whatever. Light, of course, doesn't depend on anything, but at least for travel, that's a fact only. And Vedanta tells Vedanta is a science of something that you cannot know directly by objective knowledge, because it's something higher than the objects. How objects themselves came, he's telling you. So therefore, it is a science of facts only, but I need to understand it properly because I have conceptions about it. And therefore, because of ajnana, I need a jnana. But what happens is, ajnana janita karma is there, because that's how I'm being born and so on and so forth. The generations and lives of ajnana, janita, karmas are there. That has to go slowly. And once you are in the jnana yoga, you don't need any more karma yoga and all that. You are already here. So you don't have to go back again in other steps. Because now jnana itself will take you jnana nishtha. It's called jnana nishtha, where jnana smarana has to be there all the time. How do I do nididhyasana? Contemplate on the reality. The more and more you contemplate, the more and more you get established in that. So there is no discrete event here. This is a continuous. That's why I said FIR reduction, the frequency and intensity and the recovery slowly goes down as you firmly abide in that. That's called jnana nishtha, dhrudhaiva nishtha. Bhagavan Ramana says it's called firm abidance in the knowledge that I am. This is Purati Hruspayam Parama Purna Sat. This is in the Upadeshasara. So that is what the problem there is. Here, moksha dwara is samadhi, shatka sampatta. When it is not there completely, only you gain the knowledge, but it is not abiding knowledge. One abides only by nididhyasana. How do I do nididhyasana? Constantly contemplating, teaching, writing, listening, reading. All my mind has to be in that only. That is the only methodology. Srotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha. Tavyaha means you have to do it. There is no shortcuts here. Everybody has to go through it. Some people will take long, some people will take short, depending upon the adhikaritvam. That means how qualified they are, how they have done previous lives, already prepared themselves. So here, Shamo, Vicharaha, Santosh, there are 4 gatekeepers. One is the Shama. Vicharaha is the inquiry. I need to inquire what is the reality. It's not acceptance of some belief system. So when we were, I think my wife and we were sitting somewhere, one Christian fellow says, you have to believe in Christ, otherwise you go to hell. That's what he said. And that, why he believes in that? So what were you in the last life? Oh, there is no last life. So why are you born? Because somebody ate apple. You know all that, right? Because somebody ate apple, I am born and I have eternal life. I don't have life before, but I have eternal life in this side, whether I go to hell or heaven. So this kind of knowledge, logically, it's illogical. Someone asked, thermodynamics, how many people know thermodynamics? Some thermodynamic professor asked, prove hell is exothermic system or endothermic system? Exothermic system is where heat comes out. Endothermic system is heat goes in. That's what essential. So prove scientifically whether hell is exothermic system and endothermic. Logically you have to prove. So one fellow write a beautiful answer. It has to be exothermic system. Why? Because according to any religion, everybody goes to hell other than those people who believe in that religion. Because only those people who believe in that religion will not go to hell. They go to heaven. So everybody else will go because they don't believe in that religion. So everybody else is going into hell only. And according to other religion, this fellow is also going to hell. Because he believes that he doesn't believe in other religion. Therefore, he is also going to hell. So which means that everybody is going to hell only. And hell is different from heaven and earth. Therefore, hell is finite. Because there are three things. One limits the other. So hell is limited. And everybody is heading only towards that only. And nobody is coming out of it because it is eternal hell. So everybody is getting packed in that. So heat is getting generated. Therefore, it is exothermic system. And in the end, he puts a footnote. And my girlfriend says, go to hell. For what? I don't want to get into details. But therefore, I'm also heading there. So, thermodynamically, that's kind of illogical things come. We don't have eternal hell and eternal heavens also. I don't know if you know. It says, we have to thrown out of the heaven also. When you go to heaven, you will only, as long as your credit is there, your bank account is there, you are allowed to say. Afterwards, you are pushed out. You don't want to leave the place, but you are pushed out because your account is gone. You don't have any more bank account there. So you are pushed out of it. So we have only all temporary place. Everywhere it is temporary. So anyway, that is vichara is therefore I need to inquire. So the scripture talks about vichara. Says in the Mandukya, says that Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtam Manyante Savigneyaha. That you have to inquire. Inquiry requires mind, thinking process. It's not a thoughtless process. It is thinking process, but turn in the direction. What is that because of which I can even think? Yat chakshusha na pasyati, ena chakshum sa pasyati, tadeva brahma tvam viddhi, nedam yadidam upasate. Hey, you are worshipping this. That's not Brahman. Says the scripture. Because fellow is hanging on here only this form, that form is Brahman. Now it wants to lift that fellow from that into something higher now. He says, Yat chakshusha na pasyati, you cannot see the Brahman. So anything you see is not Brahman. Then what is that? That because of which you can see, that's a Brahman. That because of which I have the capacity to see. Now what is that because of which I have the consciousness of what I am seeing everything? That is indeed Brahman. Yan manasa na manute enahur manomatam tadeva brahma tvam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate. These are from the Kenopanishad, if you know. And we took Kenopanishad in the Virginia. I think the tapes are available in the website, right? So in my website there is a tapes available of Kenopanishad. It's the most beautiful, and that's one of the first texts I attended when Swami Gurudev was here in Virginia, in Washington DC area. That was in 1978. That's the first time I got, and he was teaching me at that time. And he was the one who was showing this hand. All this is his example at that time he was showing. That's why I'm remembering that all the teaching itself. And that is the most beautiful Upanishad. Kenopanishad. Says, Pratibodha Viditam Matam. Says, you want to see the Lord? It is revealed in everything that you see. Because everything that I see, I am conscious of. So consciousness has to operate in everything that I am doing, everything I am hearing, everything I am tasting. Consciousness, because unconscious entities cannot see. So Chachushana Pasya, you are only carrying, getting away, thinking that the hand is there, but you are missing the light. Because of which hand is seen. And shifting the attention from the hand, neti, not the hand, but this is because of which the hand is seen, that is the light, right? The same way, it is not the thought, but because of which thought is seen. That thinking has to be, is a Vedanta vichara. So, Shamo vichara, santosha. Santosha is the fourth gatekeeper. Is contentment in the life itself. Because I want this, I need this. He says, yes, you have enough of those. Yes, initially that's what is required. But once all those things, now turn your attention to something higher. And that's called santosha. Contented mind is one. Otherwise, how much you have, you are unhappy because you think you don't have it. So a rich man is the one who can give. Poor man is the one who cannot give because he thinks he doesn't have it. He may have millions, but he cannot give. A fellow who has only 1 rupee, if he gives 50 rupees, he is the greatest donor because he is giving 50% of his income. A millionaire, if he gives only $10, he is not big. He may be, that fellow gave only 50 cents, he is giving $10, he is not bigger because he has millions, but he is giving only 10. So, what you should give until it hurts, that's what is really giving. Because anything, you came in this world with nothing. So, Chinmaya Mission always asks something, always this one to say, first look at what you gave into this world with nothing, I can tell you that. Not even a cloth, right? When you came, you didn't have even clothes also to wear. And everything is provided for you. Mother's milk was ready for you to grow. So water to drink, food to eat, varieties and varieties of vegetables and fruits and all because of the glory of it. If you look at anything, there's beauty, there's a Lord is there present also. If I can recognize it, then that is what the beautiful vichara becomes. That is the meditation towards that. So, and santosha means contentment in life becomes an important, otherwise you will be longing always there, wanting mind is always there, and wanting mind can never turn its attention to something higher. Chaturtaha sadhu sangamaha. And the fourth gate is the company of good. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan muktaha. Who says? Shankara says in the Bhajagovindam. Everybody is familiar, right? So satsang is very important here. Vaasishta is saying is sadhu sangamaha because satsangam will give you nissangam. Nissangam means detachment from all attachments. By what is satsang? Says, satsang is that where sat existence is there, that who believes in that existence is itself, is satsang, ultimately. So that which turns the mind towards the higher is satsang. It can be books, it can be associated with the company, it can be anything that turns your mind. So if you go to parties, all they discuss is what? Where did you buy this? What did you buy? All this and this, those only, right? All the time. That mind only gets agitated in the process. But that company where that mind is turned towards the higher, or takes mind towards the higher, is satsang. And that satsang will give you detachment to nissang, and satsangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. There is more delusion that this is going to give me happiness, that is going to give me happiness, and therefore you do not associate things that I need this, I had to have this, all that. If it comes, it's okay. If it doesn't come also, it's okay. So one has to be careful. Just because he is a jnani doesn't mean that he doesn't eat. He eats what he likes only. So what he likes, because the mind is used to that. But he doesn't bother too much if he doesn't get it. That's what the difference between a jnani and ajnani is only that. So if you look at Swami Tapovanji, there's a book, Ishvara Darshan. Those who should read that. So Ishvara Darshan, he didn't have much. If you read that, he is Tapovanam. Actually, Tapovanam is like a austerity itself as a notion of austerity. The Vanam is forest stuff. And he's just walking. He wants to go to see the Kailash, and people advise him go along with that, and he didn't have anything. Not even food to pack. And he just walked because he has only clothes, that's all burning. And people advise him, don't go in that direction because at that time there are a lot of the robbers are there in that. They can rob people. He says, I don't have anything to rob. What can they rob? And he was walking and he got lost in the forest because forest is, you turns all sorts of things, and he lost in that. And he lied down and wondering how am I going to go and where is the food, and he was hungry and all that. And when one thief came there, I don't know if you read all the story, one thief came there, a gunda. Hey, you have anything? He says, I don't have anything. You have anything? Give me because I am hungry. I don't have anything. What do I have? If you have clothes, if you want clothes, you take it. Otherwise, I am only wearing because of you only, for you. It's like a Kaupinam. Kaupinamanta kalubhagyavantaha. The one Kaupinam is a lion cloth. Huh? So Swami is wearing a kaupinam, that's all, because he is wearing only for other people's sake. But he can get attached to the kaupinam also. So there are stories of that attachment can come. And someone jokingly said, this is just for a joke. Says, as long as kaupinam is attached to him, there is no problem. But if he gets attached to the kaupinam, then there is a real problem. So problem is attachment. And that attachment goes with satsanga. So Satsangatve, Nisangatvam, Nisangatve, Nirmohatvam. The moha will go away. Nirmohatve, Nischalatatvam. Mind becomes calm and quiet. Nischalatatve, Jivan Muktaha. And the quiet mind, you can see the truth, absolute truth. And therefore, Sadhu Sanghaha is emphasized emphatically in Vedanta, in our religion, and that is what Sadhu Sangha can be in any company of the good itself. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Vaasishta uvacha bandasya tavad rupam tvam
Bandhasya tavad rupam tvam
Katyamanam idam shruno
Katyamanamidam shrunu
Tataswarupam mokshasya
Tadaswarupam mokshasya
Nyasyasi tvamasamshayam
Nyasaditam asamshayam
Bandasya tavad rupam tvam Katamanamidam shrunum Tataswarupam mokshasya.
So suddenly we said Vaasishta Uvacha. What was it before? Vaasishta was also only Uvacha only. But now we have changed the chapter here. Says this is the knowledge of the self. As Swamiji gives a heading for this. This is where the self-knowledge. Because remember the 4 gatekeepers, and we acquired their permission to go inside now. That means we have Shama. What are these 4 one? Shama, Vicharaha, Santoshaha, and Sadhu Sangamaha. That means we have prepared the mind enough to enter the sanctum sanctorum now. So with that prepared mind, we are trying to inquire. So what was the question? What was the bondage? Where did I come from? Where is this world? Why everybody is suffering? Everybody is only going from birth to death. Why are they born in these forms? And what is all this? Is what being asked. Now, Vaasishta is crystallizing the essence of bondage here. So he says, Bandhasya tavad rupam, says, Tvam shrunu, Kachamanam idam. So idam shrunu, so bandhasya tavad rupam, the entire nature of the bondage itself. So you listen to this description of what is bondage. So we have one definition of bondage by Vishwamitra already, right? Before. Now we are going to give, what was the bondage? Remember, Padartha, Vasana, Drishti. So I want this, I want this, I want this. I am turning my mind, the ego that I am, instead of higher, going this. That's why all my life is going after objects or emotional satisfaction or intellectual satisfaction. This is the whole world that I am going after. And all my biography of everybody is, that's how whole life is. From birth to death is that's all. Everybody is mostly 99% is only involved in this OET. Right? And only few is the one trying to turn. Why only few? Because only few ask this question. This is not only now, this is before also same. Even Krishna's time also it is the same. Manushyanam sahasreshu. Kaschit yadati siddhaye. Of thousands of people are there, only few people ask this question, why am I, where am I going, what is the meaning of this? Only those. Of those who ask, only few attend the camp. Right? So essentially, those who are really committed, want to know, other things become secondary to this. That's what it means. Means, I am important, but there's also important. I don't have time, I will attend next time. Why? Even though I think important, but it's not important enough for me to stop that and do this. That's all it means. So priorities are different only because what I give as a priority is different. One who is interested in this, other things become less priority compared to this more and more. So that becomes the evolutionary ladder. So here he's giving this, one, what is the real bondage? So bandhasya, please listen to me now. What exactly is the bondage? And what is the nature of the bondage? How exactly it arises? Once you understand it, then you know what is to do in order to get unbound. Okay? So Swamiji, I have to tell the story of Swamiji. He tells this in a way, I might have told this in the other camps also. He says, in the Himalayan region, so the Mahatmas, they do wherever they can, the meditation, because it's a quiet and calm place where they can contemplate on that compared to worldly life. So they withdraw themselves and contemplate their life. There are investigators to investigate deeply on that. So that one Mahatma is staying somewhere. So one Pagadi, he had a lot of mules, and the Pagadis is local people. They travel from one place to other place, taking the stuff from here and going there and selling there, buying that stuff there and coming back and selling here. So that's how the market is going on. So one Pagadi, he has a lot of mules, so he carried a lot of luggage, and then he was going through. So in Himalayas, you don't know when it snows. So suddenly, because the clouds come, because it's cold enough, then it started snowing. So it's almost like evening and it started snowing, he is not able to go across. So he said, let me find a rest place where these mules can also take rest, and once the snow stops, maybe I can leave in the morning. So he's looking for some place to rest. Then he saw some ashram there, and some Swami was there sitting. So he went and prostrated, sir, I got stuck, the snow is there, so I need to take rest, and I have so many mules, what should I do? He says, okay, put the mules here, and come here, take bath and something, eat something and sleep. Tomorrow you can go, there's no problem. So thank you, Bhagavan. He said he brought the mules, and then he wanted to make sure the mules don't get lost in the snow. So normally what he does, he has to tie them down. Then he realized he forgot. He forgot what? He forgot the ropes and also the what is called plugs that in which he has to nail it down so that he can tie the mules. So he said, okay, they will lie down. Say, come on, lie down, lie down. They don't lie down because they are not tied. So he said, what should I do if they get lost in the snow? So he ran to Mahatma, thinking that he may have some ropes. So says, sir, what should I do? The mules are not lying down. So what do you do normally? I said, I put the plugs and I nail it them down and then I tie the rope and then they lie down. So do it. So I forgot them. So then do one thing. You pretend as though you have the plugs. You make noise as though you are breathing down. Then you pretend as though you have a rope and you pretend you are tying them down. Then ask them to lie down. I said, how can I pretend all that? But the Pahadis have great faith on the they call Maharaj, right? This Maharaj must be great soul. He has that magic power to make the mules lie down. So he went, tuck, 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 he like down, put each plug and take as though there is a rope tied and put around this as though there is tying down. Says, lie down. Then says, why didn't you do this before? We could lie down easily. Without rope, how can we lie down? So thinking like that, actually I don't know whether they thought like that, the mules lied down. Why? They felt that they have been tied now. Now, in the morning, after he bathed and now morning riding, he took the permission of the Swami. Says, now, yeah, you can go now. And he said, come on, get up, get up. They don't get up. So what is this problem? Whatever he does, they won't get up. So he ran to Mahatma again. So did you untie them? So what did you untie them? I didn't even tie them. How can I untie them? Hey, you fellow, you pretended as though you tied. Now pretend you are untying them also. So he has to go and each one as though he is untying each one and remove the plugs as though, then they got up because now they feel that they are untied. We are like those mules. Why? Because we think we are tied by ropes, invisible ropes, therefore we get to untied. That's why therefore gatekeepers are there, where we have to get, each knot has to be removed and we have to get untied. So if I understand what is this tying, then you will understand how to untie also. You follow now? Because I am already existent consciousness and I am looking for what? I am. Or whatever pure existent consciousness I am looking, but you are already that. Then how come I am suffering? So someone when asked Brahman, so Swamiji said, I understand perfectly, I know I am Brahman, but how come I am suffering? So if you understand your Brahman, what is their question of, why are you suffering? That means I didn't understand obviously that I am Brahman. Brahman means infinite, limitless. How can suffering come in? Suffering itself is limitation. So understanding has to be understood as a fact, not as just as a thought. So that's why J. Krishnamurti, I don't know if you know J. Krishnamurti, says it's not an understanding as a thought, but it's an understanding as a fact. That factual understanding has to be understood. And therefore, here Vaasishta says, if you want to understand, first understand what is the nature of bondage first. Is it really real rope there for you to untie it? If there is a real rope, then you have to use a real untying. But if it is an imaginary in your mind, then mind has to be untied. The understanding has to come. So it is a clear understanding of the facts than anything else, the bondage. And that's what we have to do. So how does he present this bondage? It's a very interesting presentation by Vaasishta here. What is the nature of bondage? Yes. Go ahead.
द्रष्टुर्दृश्यस्य सत्ता हि
द्रष्टुर्दृश्यस्य सत्ता हि
बन्ध इत्यभिधीयते
बन्ध इत्यभिधीयते
दृष्टा दृश्यवशात् बद्धः
द्रष्टा दृश्यवशात् बद्धः
दृश्याभावे विमुच्यते
दृश्याभावे मुच्यते
द्रष्टुर्दृश्यस्य सत्ता हि बन्ध इत्यभिधीयते दृष्टा दृश्यवशात् बद्धः दृश्यभावे विमुच्यते
So here he is defining what is the bondage. This is one definition of bondage crystallized in some form. Okay? There are several ways of defining, but here Vaasishta chooses to define because for Rama, who is mature enough to understand this one directly. So here, drashtur drusyasya sattahi bandha itya vidhiyate. So here it says drashtuhu drusyam. Drusyam is seen, drashtu is a seer. And satta, he indeed is satta. Satta means that is real. And bandha itya vidhiyate, that is the bondage. Understood? So what is understood? It says this is the seer and the seen. Seer is I am, and the seen is what I see. And they are real, satta. And that notion of reality is the bondage. Okay? So what does that mean now? We have to understand. Now, this is really slowly because I know it's 4:30, we have to stop at 5. Is there arati after this or what is the plan? No plan. So we will do with the Purnamada and then end it. So before 5 o'clock we'll try to stop it and leave it, because if I tell everything, we may not come tomorrow. So we will stop at 5. But what exactly is this? If we understand this, we also become same, because Rama is telling simple, says the seer and the seen. This is a teaching through Valmiki, via Rama, Vaasishta and Rama, right? And we are fortunately reading their conversation between what happened between Vaasishta and Rama. We are over-listening through all the means. So what exactly is the bondage? And the bondage is the seer and the seen. There is a book by name Drusya Viveka. Actually, I wanted to take that text also, but it was taken apparently some time back. We'll take again sometime. So, Drusya Viveka by Vidyaranya Swami has written the book where the seer seen is Viveka, analysis of that. So, whole book is on that. So, that's what we are talking about bondage here. So, how do I know I am bound? Let's go into the details now. So, I know I am a jiva. That's my problem. Everybody says that I am an individual, I am bound, because I am this, right? So, first notion is I am this body, mind, this jiva, and that is the world. So, whatever is that is the world. So, there are two. One is the subject I am and object this. So, one is drashtu and another is drusyam. Right? That's all. So, the whole world can be classified into two only. There is nothing else. One is the subject I and the object world. Isn't it? Because, other subjects are there. Who says that other subjects are there? For each subject, he is the subject. For him, everybody is objects. So if you look, Shankaracharya writes the Brahma Sutra Bhashya. In the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, he starts with this. It's called Adhyasa Bhashya. It's called Adhyasa Bhashya is the error in analysis. In my error, I am committing the fundamental error. That is provided, Adhyasa Bhashya is provided before he goes into the Brahma Sutra Bhashya. And that's one of the famous, and there are commentaries, and it's a very short, but there are commentaries on it in the Adhyasa Bhashya. Those who want to know more, it's in my website also. Yeah, it's in the Advaitin website, sorry. I have written Brahma Sutra based on the at least first 4 sutras, and this first Adhyasa Bhashya is there. There's a pages and pages of information is there, those who want. But essentially it means it's error. Okay? Error is taking the other as real. That's the error. So, what it amounts to is, I am a seer and this is a scene. So whole my world of transactions from the birth to death is involving these two. I am and the world. World can be other beings as well as the inert things. Therefore, analysis involves what is the seer and what is the seen, ultimately. Is there real? Which is real? Is a question. Now you have to define what is real. How do you define something is real? This is a philosophical question now. It's an ontological problem. So, when it says this is real, how do you define what is real? So, we have existent, non-existent. Remember, we started with existence and non-existence. So, existent is existent, therefore it has to be real. So, whatever Sat is real, and whatever Asat is not there, therefore it's not real. That's a simple definition. But in whatever exists, I have two varieties again. One variety is that which is changeless, and other is that is which is changing. So you have to be careful here. There are two in terms of whatever that exists in the world, there is one that is changeless and that is what's changing. So we define what is real. Who defines? So scripture has defined. Trikala abhaditam satyam. What's the definition is? It says real is that which does not change at any time. Trikalam means past, present and future. It remains the same. That is real. Simple, right? Then what is not real? Not real is it has no locus for existence at any time. Follow these definitions because these are very important. What's real is that which remains the same in all three periods of time. What is unreal, non-existent is it has no existence at any time. That means there is no locus for its existence. So remember I asked famous questions. What's the famous question? Have you ever seen Gaga Boo Boo? Veena says yes in your talks. Veena is my Hindi teacher, by the by. She's my guru. So what is real? The real is, we know. What's the unreal? Which has no existence any time. And the scripture provides an example. It says like Vandhyaputraha. Vandhyaputraha means a son of a barren woman. That's an example. A classical example of a son of a barren woman. Hey, there is a son. Oh, he is born to a barren woman. How can that be? It's illogical. Logical contradiction there. So that cannot exist at any time. Not in the past, not in the present, not in the future. That is asat. Now you remember, asatoma sadgamaya, you are praying. What are you praying? Let the non-existent become existent. Oh Lord, how can that be? It's impossible. So remember I told you already one prayer is wrong, right? Says, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya is gone. Now you're asking second one also, Asatoma Sadgamaya. Who is asking? Oh Lord, make me that which is existent. Now from non-existent, make me into existent. So in order for me to pray, I should be existent, right? Otherwise I cannot pray. If I'm already existent, what is asking make me existent? He's already done. It's already accomplished fact. What is the point in asking him again, make me existent? I already exist only, that's why I'm able to pray. So either pray is useless, or a non-existent cannot become existent, like Vanjaputraha. Make Vanjaputraha. Make a son of a barren woman. Says, I cannot do it. Even though I am Lord, I cannot do it because it's a logical contradiction there. So that prayer is also useless, right? But if you understand it that way, because scripture is telling, therefore it has a deeper meaning for it also. So I don't want to take all the time, but that's a deeper meaning also. So one has to understand what it really implies. So therefore, says non-existent is that which has a logical contradiction that cannot exist, have no locus for existence. But Navya Nyaya also says there are other things non-existent because no one has seen it. I have a problem with it, but that's what Navya Nyaya. Because I have to tell exactly. Navya means logically, Nyaya means the logical of Indian logic has a big philosophy, a very big. And it's sometimes mind-boggling arguments are there. And that defines everything in very complicated way. Because every nook and lole, they have to make sure that it is exact. And that says that it's like the horns of a hare is non-existent, asat. Why? Because no one has seen it. So is that a criteria for existent or non-existent because somebody has to see it? Now it becomes a problem, right? A conscious entity has to recognize the existence of that unconscious entity to say that it exists. Now you follow now very closely. Say, can you go to other room and bring Gaga Boo Boo for me? So what is Gaga Boo? I don't know. If I don't know, you don't know, how can we bring Gaga Boo Boo? Right? So we cannot bring any. So at least somebody should know what it is for you to bring. So existence of an object is established by the knowledge of its existence. Clear? Someone in the universe should say, yet it is. The world was there in the Big Bang and the rolls are there. Who knows what it is? We are only logically showing because of extrapolation of, you remember, I don't know if you know how much science says the galaxies are expanding. If you go backwards, all meet at one point. That's where the Big Bang, all the galaxies are at one point. That's where the Big Bang occurred. Simple, right? Everybody understand? But if you really go into details, that Big Bang occurred everywhere. And everywhere there is no space at that time. Space is created by Bang only. There's a lot of illogicality there. Why? Because you are extrapolating. You remember, an observer is extrapolating to the point where the observer is. A fellow, just recently, if you're in the Yahoo somewhere, it Googles, says they have discovered new galaxies that are really forming now. They are baby galaxies. Who is saying? We are saying they are forming. They are billions and billions of light years away. So follow this properly. That means light that has traveled billions and billions years ago has started there and come and reached me now for me to recognize that they are forming not now. Because light took so many years to travel. Billions and billions ago they are formed. There, the observer sitting there in that galaxies, they will see us as that we are forming still. So when you look at the sky, you are looking in the past. The closest star is 4 light years away. So what you are seeing is not the star now. 4 years ago, what was there at that time, now you are seeing. You follow? That's a science. I'm not talking about this is science, because light itself is taking time. So if every observer, that's where the bang occurred. That's what Vedanta also says. All thing is in your observer only. That's why seer and the seen is coming into a problem. Because science cannot answer all these things. Not that science is wrong. Science cannot answer that which is beyond, because they cannot answer what consciousness itself is. As long as they don't consider the consciousness as a part, they can never answer even the fundamental particles. The one who is analyzing is a conscious entity. He is analyzing what is happening there. Ignoring himself into the equation, he has to put in. There's a, I don't know, I kept telling these stories anyway. There's one Schrodinger's cat problem is there in the physics. Schrodinger's cat problem is, Schrodinger's, he's a great Vedantin actually. And he solved a problem. What's the problem? If you put a cat inside a radiation chamber, what happens? Is it dead or alive? Can you solve the problem? So Schrodinger can solve mathematically what is the probability of the cat being alive or dead when it is radiated. The answer will come out, it's 50% alive and 50% dead. Because that's what Vedanta calculations can tell. But it cannot be half dead and like a half pregnant. You cannot be like that. So either it is dead or it has to be alive. How do we know? So open the chamber. When you open the chamber, then you know that it is dead or alive. Not 50-50. That means a conscious entity has to open it and recognize what is the fact. Without conscious entity entering into the equation, the probability remains like that only. It's only probabilities. The Schrodinger equation can only solve the probability of having this. Now, another scientist says, I will solve better. I'll put man also along with the cat and then radiate. Man is outside a little bit, he doesn't get radiation, but he sees, and let him observe. You don't have to open the chamber. Okay, man observe. He knows. But how do I know? I have to interact with him to know what is there. That means I had to enter into the equation. Otherwise, without me, there is no way knowledge can take place. So existence of the object is established by knowledge of its existence. Yeah? Without me, the seer, the seen existence cannot be established. And without it established, I don't know whether it exists or not. Just follow the problem now. Existence of any object is established by the knowledge of its existence. Yes, I can see, therefore it is there. So unless this pramana has to operate, pramana means means of knowledge has to operate for me to know the subject I am and this is the object to be known. That connection has to be established. Without the connection, the knowledge of the existence of the object cannot be established. And therefore, implication is, I have to be there first, then the world comes into picture for me to say world is. Existence of the world, because world doesn't say I am there, it's unconscious. Therefore, world cannot say I am there, only conscious entity can say the world is there because I am the one who can perceive or he can deduce. All that means of knowledge can be established, and through the means of knowledge I can know this is object that is known. So I am the subject, this is the object, and the means has to establish, which is called a pramana. Pramana is a means of knowledge by which I can know this object, that object, that object. If it's an object of vision, I had to use eyes and I can see. If it's an object of hearing, I have to hear. I have to taste. I have to touch. All five senses are operating in their field of operation for me to know the object drishyam. Drishyam is object that includes all the things that I hear or listen or taste, all five things. Because if five senses are not working, then no world for me. Now, is there really world if I don't see it? Who is going to answer the question? So when I go to deep sleep state, the whole drishyam is gone. Right? But I was there. So how do you know you are there? You didn't know that you are there. If I think I am not going to be there, I am not going to sleep. Because I know that I am going to be there comfortably, therefore I want to in fact sleep also. Because there is a guarantee that I'll be getting up and I'll be there. Hey, did you sleep very well yesterday? Yeah, I slept very well. Who says? The one who slept. So I was there to sleep very well. So sleep very well is a knowledge of mind. That means I am conscious of that I slept very well. What did you do in the sleep? I don't know. Where were you in the sleep? Oh, I went to bed. But when you sleep, what happened? I don't know where I was. I have no knowledge of anything. What did you see in that? Nothing. Deep sleep state is an experience of Advaita. Advaita means non-dual. Everybody is happy they don't want to get up in the morning, right? They want comfortable. In fact, if the alarm rings, you want to do taka, right? You want to sleep some more. It's so good. Because Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. Because of the duality only fear comes. And there is no duality whatsoever in the deep sleep state. And this is why it analyzes, the scripture analyzes 3 states. Not only waking state and make theories, our scripture don't depend on that. It says waking state and a dream state and a deep sleep state. All 3 states of experience of a human being are taken into consideration and come up with the solution. And that is, I am is a waker, I am is a dreamer, I am is a deep sleeper. I am is not going to change. I am the one who awake, I am the one who was sleeping, dreaming, and I am the one who slept very well. I am did not change. States are keep changing, but I am changeless entity. And what's the definition of real? That which does not undergo any change. Follow now? But what about the things that I see? Are they real or not real? They are not unreal, because unreal things I cannot see. Like this seeing of, I saw what? The son of a barren woman. I cannot see. But I am seeing the world, I am seeing you, I am seeing this, I am seeing, therefore it cannot be unreal. But you are changing continuously, everything is changing, the whole world is changing, my body is changing, my mind, body that I am seeing changing, my mind, what are the things I liked before, I don't like now, all things continuously change, my intellect is changing, my body, everything is changing, everything is continuously changing, only thing is I am not changing. Why? You remember when I was childhood, I can recollect what happened in my childhood because I was there in the childhood. I can recollect all the things. It says, Pratyabhijna. Whatever I happened continuously in my whole life, I can remember only because I was there and I am now also. So law of memory says the one who is experienced and the one who is recollector has to be one and the same. I cannot recollect your experience because I was not there. But I can recollect my experience because I was there in that experience. So I am there at that time, I am there to recollect it, therefore I am there all the time. I am not changing. But equipments are changing, yes. These are all body-minded equipment that keeps changing. That's our problem also. Because at that time, once upon a time, I used to easily sit quietly, get up easily. Now it's a project, sitting down is a project and getting up is a project. It's a big project. Why? Things are changing. Therefore, what is changeless and what is changing has to be understood clearly. And if I give reality to everything, that becomes a problem. And that becomes a bondage. So what is a bondage? Here, once we understand what's a bondage, then solution becomes clear as Vaasishta says. Because you need to understand where is the bondage coming from. It's coming from the fundamentally duality. Duality comes problem. What's the duality? This is the fundamental duality. I am a seer and this is a seen. Seeing is an experience. So I am an experiencer and this is experienced. And this duality, if you think it is a reality, then it's become a problem. Okay? Now we go more details into this, what exactly bondage, what exactly liberation, as Vaasishta goes into more details, that we'll take up tomorrow. So we'll do Purnamada Purnamidam, and we'll do Chinmaya Mission Pledge, and then we will disperse out.